In honor of it finally being the new year, I thought it would be fun to talk about 26 personal goals that I have for 2026. Last week's episode was also New Year's theme, but it was kind of a different approach because it was more about starting the year on the right foot and entering it with the right mindset and kind of just talking about universal goals that I think would do a lot of people good. Some of these goals are more short term, some are more long term, some are a little more serious, and then some are kind of just simpler and a little more miscellaneous. So it's kind of a mixture of everything, but I just decided to sit down and come up with 26 things that I want to try to achieve or work on this year. And maybe some of these ideas will give you inspiration for your own goals. By the way, the order that I talk about them in is in no way, shape, or form relevant to the level of importance, so just keep that in mind. First of all, I really want to make a vision board. I talked about this in last week's episode, but I think just really writing down all my goals made me want to do it even more. So I think I'm going to try to do it in the next few days. I'm going to scroll through Pinterest and just find a bunch of photos and then print them up and make a super cute vision board because I think it's just a really good way of putting your goals in front of you and visualizing them. There's something about seeing other people accomplishing them that drives and motivates you even more. Okay, number two, I'm kind of going to get the more serious ones out of the way just so that the rest of the episode is a bit lighter. I want to continue to heal my relationship with food. I'm not going to go too much into detail just because it's a sensitive topic and it's a little more difficult, and the episode isn't revolved around this. I could talk about this for hours if I wanted to. But I struggled with a pretty bad eating disorder last year. It would be really unrealistic to make an episode like this without bringing it up just because of how prominent it was last year. But I've been in recovery and things are so much better. And I just want to say, if you have dealt with something similar or you are dealing with something similar, just know you are not alone, and I promise it does get better. Recovery is so worth it, and it's the best decision I have ever made for myself. And I understand the doubt, I understand not believing it when you hear it, because I remember when I was sick, I heard someone say that and I just didn't believe her. I didn't believe I was ever going to be happy again unless I was living in that state of mind and in that situation. And trigger warning, being as thin as possible. So yeah, there really has been so much progress. But if I were to say that it was completely back to normal and perfect again, I'd be lying. Although more things have changed than things that haven't, there are still some anxieties relating to eating and food and just these mindsets that have been implanted in me. It's hard to just completely get rid of them because of how big a part of my life they were for so long. So yeah, this year I just want to continue to go in the right direction and just grow a positive, healthy relationship with food and to have the correct views on it. It's about not restricting myself and just letting myself live and be happy. And eating for the way in which not how I want to look, but how I want to feel. But it's going to translate to the outside and you're going to glow from the outside. Okay, next, this one's a little more serious, but then we're going to go on the lighter side afterwards. I want to get more of a handle on my OCD and my emetophobia this year and kind of just my anxieties in general. These things have been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. The emetophobia developed at a really young age. I think it's because my sister used to get carsick all the time, and I just grew such a fear of it so intensely. And I think because of how precautious I was with the emetophobia, like how I would be clean and try to avoid certain situations, it caused me to develop OCD later on. But even then, there were signs of OCD at a younger age, so I don't know which one developed first. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg. Like, I don't know which one came first, but they definitely coexist and they definitely work together. So, yeah, this year I just want to continue to work in the right direction and just improve my mindsets and my fears. And I also just want to look into how these things develop because I think sometimes understanding the disorder, the thing that you deal with, and how it's fed. OCD is kind of like a fire that ignites. When you go through with a compulsion, it kind of feeds into the fire and the fire gets bigger. Ignoring those impulses and not going through with them is what's going to diminish the anxieties over time. So I just want to work on that and maybe work on some exposure therapy and trying not to avoid the things that scare me because that just makes it worse. Okay, next, I want to start to pick up more hobbies. I feel like I never realized how little hobbies I have until I have time off school or time off from doing things and I have a break. Every time the winter or summer break rolls around between semesters, I never know what to do with myself, and I really just want to try to pick up new hobbies. That's kind of why I started the podcast because I was on break from school and the podcast was something I'd wanted to start for so long. And now that I've started it, it's so much fun and it's a new hobby that I picked up. So I just want to keep doing that and keep trying new things out because when I don't know what to do, my default is just to like watch Netflix, which isn't a good thing to always settle on. Okay, number 5, I want to try new ways of movement. I've been a dancer for my entire life, but because I was starting recovery, I needed to be away from physical activity for quite some time. And now I've had the go to bring back in some light physical activity. And as time goes on and I get stronger, we're going to introduce more. But even when I'm ready, I don't know if I'm ready to go back to dance. I'm not really sure. Just because there's so many layers to it now, it's a lot more than just dance. But there's something exciting about trying out new things. Maybe running or trying to go to the gym or maybe some yoga. It's just exciting, and I don't know why it feels like for the first time ever I'm realizing there are so many options and so many different things to try out. So that's definitely a goal for this year. Now, kind of connected to that, I want to start walking more and just generally spending more time outside. I feel like I do walk quite a bit, but a lot of the time when I am walking, it's for transportation reasons. I'm not really walking recreationally. I'm just walking because I'm trying to get to work, or I'm trying to get to the bus, or I'm walking around the campus at school. I want to purposely go outside and go on a walk more often and just spend time and get more fresh air because it's so good for you. But I feel like I don't get enough of it, especially in the winter. Literally, the last thing I want to do in the winter is purposely go outside because it's so cold and it's so dark and there's snow everywhere and there's ice and it's just not enjoyable. I just want to be cozy in my room. But I think if I dress properly, I think it could be a lot of fun and it could be enjoyable. And it just feels good to walk around and move around. Next, I want to read more. I'm a victim of never reading. It's like really bad. I honestly could not tell you the last book that I read. I know that is so bad. I think it's just because I haven't found my book yet. I haven't found the book that interests me or the genre that interests me. So I need to do some tests and try different things out because I generally don't know. I don't know what my reading style is. I don't know what I like to read. I just never read and I really want to pick it up more because I feel like it's so calming. And anytime in the past that I have found a book that I like, I'm so into it and I'm stuck in it and I could read for hours on end, but I just haven't put in enough effort to find a book in recent times that I enjoy. So I definitely want to do that because reading is really good for you and that's also another hobby that maybe I could pick up, just another habit that's good for you. Another thing is I also want to try puzzles. I feel like whenever my family has a puzzle out, it's so much fun. So I maybe want to set up a puzzle in my room and kind of just have it and actively doing it. There's something relaxing about putting on music or a podcast and just doing the puzzle. Something I also want to try. Okay, number 8, I want to start to dive deeper into things. And what I mean by this is expanding my knowledge. So let's say I'm reading a book and there's a word that I don't understand, or I'm watching a show and there's a reference that I don't understand. Like if you've seen Gilmore Girls, there are so many references in there, especially from Lorelai, but just everyone. There are so many pop culture references in that show, and half of them I don't even understand. I'm a chronic rewatcher of that show. I've seen it like 4 times now. Kind of like four and a half because my mom started watching it, and sometimes I'll watch episodes if I'm in the room. Half the time I don't know what they're talking about, so I just want to start looking things up. If I come across a word that I don't understand, I'll look it up instead of just moving past it because then I'm never gonna learn. Like when I rewatch Gilmore Girls, I'm still not gonna know what they're talking about. So I want to start looking into that more, just going out of my way to expand my knowledge about something. If I'm interested in something, watching a documentary about it, just expanding my knowledge on things. Okay, next, I would love to grow my faith and my relationship with God. I never ever want to pressure religion or press religion or my own beliefs on anyone. I'm just talking on a personal level. It gives me so much peace and I just believe in it personally. There are just so many things that have happened in my life that have happened in such a perfect way that I feel like there is a higher power behind it. And listen, you can relate to this in a different way on a personal level. You can just relate this to spiritual beliefs in general, or if you believe in something different. There's just something so peaceful about putting my trust in that. Okay, number 10, I would love to get a boyfriend. I just crave a loving, healthy relationship. I crave love and affection. Listen, if it's not meant to happen, it won't happen. I know it's going to happen in its divine timing, but it would just be really nice if it happened this year. I feel like I'm also nearing the area where I'm ready for that because when I was down bad last year, I was definitely not ready for something like that. I didn't even feel like a person. But now that I'm starting to gain my personality back and starting to just live a happier life, that's something that I think would be such an amazing addition. Okay, number 11, I want to start doing things more often that make me feel put together. And what I mean by this is getting my nails done often, or dressing up for no reason or wearing more pajama sets. I just want to do things that make me feel more put together. I never really have my nails done, and it's something that I really want to start doing just because I always feel so much more put together when they are done. I might not even necessarily do acrylics, I might just do like gel just so that it lasts longer. Like, just have like gel French tips consistently because I do love French tips. They're just such a clean look and they're such a classic and just something you can fall on when you're doubtful about what you want to do. And I can connect that to my next goal, which is romanticizing my life a little more. I feel like I live a pretty simple life. Like, I live in a small town. I live at home with my parents and my sisters. I go to school, and I think sometimes I look at the routine and the repetition in a negative way. But especially this year, I really want to start to romanticize that. I just want to start to see the beauty in the little things and try to live in the moment a little more and stop being so insanely anxious about the future. Next, I would love to go on a trip by myself or with friends. Every single time I've been on a trip, it's always been with family. And there's something so exciting about getting older, knowing that, like, maybe one day I will go on a trip by myself or going on a trip with friends. And it doesn't have to be anything big, but it would be so cool if at some point this year I traveled somewhere by myself or went somewhere with some of my close friends. It just sounds like a lot of fun and something I'd really love to do. Okay, number 14, less comparison. Listen, it is so amazing that I'm starting to feel like myself again and not feel so numb. But I think how I feel now just really shines a light on how numb I really was because of how surprising it is to like care about things again and worry what other people think of me and just being unhappy with how I look or how I feel. And I am such a victim of constantly comparing myself to people. Recent days, I have found myself so many times doom scrolling through people's accounts and just constantly comparing every single part of me or my entire situation to their life and how they look. And it's just not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not doing me any good. So I just really want to try to stop comparing myself to other people so much. And it's not just online, it's also just in person. I'll walk down the street, be like, oh, that person's so pretty. Like, why can't I look like that? Like, I just want to stop being so incredibly hard on myself. Just because someone is good at something doesn't take away your talents or your abilities. This sounds so cliche, but someone else's beauty doesn't take away from your own. So this year, I would just want to try taking my own advice and stop being so hard on myself. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Okay, kind of related to that, I want to do less scrolling. This is already something I've been working on. I have noticed I haven't been on TikTok as often. I haven't been doom scrolling as much. Listen, I am on a device for a lot of the day, I will say, but I'm often just like watching YouTube or watching Netflix, which I think is a lot better than scrolling because that also kind of helps with the attention span. When you're watching a show, it needs to keep your attention for longer. It's not short form content like TikTok is. And the scrolling is just not good for me. It leads to comparison and scrolling for longer than you intended to and then not feeling good afterwards. And then it causes you to not be motivated to do anything else, and then you just keep scrolling for even longer. Another thing, this one is kind of random, but I so badly want to try puppy yoga. Guys, I love dogs so much, and I don't have a dog. I've talked about this before. I don't know if I'm gonna have kids and I'm older. You best bet I'm gonna be a dog mom. I'm sorry, but if my future partner is allergic to dogs, it's just not gonna work. I wanna have like 3 dogs and maybe a cat. I love dogs so much and I haven't grown up with one, so I'm definitely gonna get one when I'm older. Anyways, so I really want to try puppy yoga. I was texting my friend about it and she really wants to go, so I think we're going to try to set that up really soon. Guys, I'm so excited. I just want to do yoga poses and hold a little puppy in my lap. Are you kidding me? Next, I really want to try changing some things around my room. I really do love my room right now and it's so cozy. I love spending time here, but I just want to add a little something. I feel like it's just kind of plain, just like whether it's like putting up picture frames and then I have photos of me with my friends or something. I just want to add a little something just to give it a little more character. Sorry, some of these are kind of random, but it's 26 goals. It's really hard to write down 26 like big goals, you know what I mean? Especially cuz some of them are kind of general, like less comparison. There's so much that you can put into that category. It's like a tree and there's a bunch of branches. So. Next, I really want to start going out more and saying yes to things more often. I am very introverted, so I spend so much time by myself in my room or just at home with my family. I am such a homebody. If I have the option of going out or staying in, I'm staying in most of the time. But on Saturday, I was gonna go out with a friend, and then she asked me if I wanted to go to this country bar with her. She's been trying to convince me to go for so long, and I was kind of hesitant. I was like, I'm not really sure because I'm not very spontaneous. I'm very much a planner, so when things don't go to plan or it's something last minute, it's hard for me to agree and go through with it. So I was kind of hesitant about it, and then I thought about it for a little bit, and then I packed my cowboy boots and we went there, and it was so much fun. So yeah, I just want to go out more and spend more time out, and obviously prioritize alone time, prioritize time to myself and time to relax, because I do tend to get like overstimulated and overwhelmed when I'm out for long periods of time. But just trying to find a healthy balance, because right now I feel like I do prioritize the alone time a lot, but a little too much. I just want to start to go out a little bit more. I think it's also maybe the OCD playing into that a little bit. So I want to try to go out more, because then it's some exposure therapy and it helps. And then the anxieties go down, and the more I do it, the easier it gets. Next, I want to spend less and avoid clutter. I feel like I already keep a pretty clean space, which is really important to me, because when I'm in a space that isn't clean, it's so stressful to me. If my room is a mess, I can't be calm. I need to clean, and then my mind is at ease. It just gets really overwhelming when things are all over the place. But I have had a bit of a spending problem in the past, which is at times cause a bit of clutter, but that has definitely gotten better recently. As I've matured, I feel like I've gotten a lot more responsible with my money. It's about, again, finding a healthy balance, not spending at all, but also not spending all of my money. You know what I mean? Like, I have been very impulsive in the past, especially with like jelly cats. I remember one time I was at a store and there were three jelly cats that I really liked, and I couldn't decide which one to get, so I just got all three. And I think it's been a bit of a coping mechanism when I've gone through hard things. So it's about finding healthier ways to cope when I'm dealing with something. Next, I really want to get a tattoo. This is kind of like a near future thing. Like, this is something I'm already starting to plan a little bit. I never thought I was the type of girl to get a tattoo. And then I saw a video of this girl getting a heart that her mom drew tattooed on her. And I thought it was such a cute idea. And with this whole process, with everything I've gone through, it's brought me a lot closer to my parents, and so much more grateful for them than I already was before. So I set my little sister up to get it done, because she does a lot of art, and because she's young, if she goes up to them and asks them to draw a heart, they're not going to question it. If I did it, they'd definitely be suspicious. So I sent her to get them to draw a few little hearts, and then I'm going to take one heart that my dad drew, one heart that my mom drew, and then I'm going to place them in a cute way and then give that to the tattoo artist. And I'm just going to get it tattooed small on my wrist right here. And then after that, I don't think I'm going to get any other tattoos. I just wanted to get that one because I feel like it's cute to get a couple of hearts tattooed on, and it's really sentimental, and it's just a way of like having my parents with me at all times. Like, it's a way of like carrying them with me. You know what I mean? I don't know. It sounds kind of cheesy, but it's true. I just think it's a really sentimental idea, and I want to surprise them with it. So I really hope if they're not watching this, they probably aren't. They probably aren't. But hopefully they're not, because I really want this to be a surprise. I want to come home and be like, surprise, look what I did. Next, I would love for the podcast to be a success. This is something that I have wanted for so long, and I really do enjoy it. I've been watching podcasts for a few years now, and I just look forward to listening to the creators. It would be so amazing if one day I was what those people are to me to someone else. So yeah, I would love to continue the podcast this year, and hopefully it sees some success and I grow a community on here, because I just want it so badly. I've wanted it for so long. Next, I want to help others more. And I feel like I already try to do this as much as I can. This could be in so many different forms, you know what I mean? Whether it's the podcast and I talk about something and someone feels less alone, or like if it's something small, someone drops something and I get it for them, you know what I mean? Every time I do something for someone else, even if it's small, it leaves me feeling so good, and I'm not doing it with intent of expecting something back. It just feels good to do something for someone else. That's kind of why I created the podcast. I kind of just want it to be a space where I can talk about things and people can come to feel safe or feel understood. I also just love to talk, and I thought, why not record it? So, next, I want to start singing in front of people more often. I grew up around singing and I grew up doing it. And then for years and years, I just stopped singing in front of people. And I still sing now, but I just don't really do it in front of people as much. But then this summer, I was away from home for a job, and then there was this guy on staff who was playing guitar, and then just for fun, I started singing along to what he was playing, and we just did that for like a couple of hours. But it was so much fun, and it was my first time singing in front of people, and I just really enjoyed it. So I kind of want to start to do that. I was kind of getting out of my comfort zone, but it was a lot of fun. So I want to start doing that more. Next, this one is kind of unrealistic, and it's kind of a joke, but I really want a dog. I really want a dog. My family talks about wanting a dog, but then we just never do it because it's just kind of unrealistic for our lifestyle and stuff. And I've always wanted a dog, but then my sister was dog sitting during Christmas time, so she came over on Christmas Eve and she brought the dog with her. And it was a cute little Frenchie. He was so cute. And he was so smart too. We were doing a secret Santa between me and my siblings because this year, instead of us all buying for each other, we did a secret Santa just so we can focus on that one person. It's not as stressful getting a gift for everyone. So this year I got for my mom, dad, and then for my secret Santa person. So we were doing a thing where we closed our eyes and we guessed who it was, then we put the gift in our hand, right? And then I was the last person to do it, so I knew that it was going to be my older sister. But as a joke, I closed my eyes and I said, "Oh, I think it's the dog." And then the dog walked over to me and gave me his toy. He's so cute. Anyways, I've always wanted a dog, and that just made me want a dog that much more. I woke up on Christmas morning and my sister wasn't there anymore, so she had brought the dog back with her because she couldn't stay the night. And the dog wasn't there anymore. And for a second, I was like, where's the dog? And I was like, oh, yeah, he's not ours. It was kind of sad. It's kind of devastating. But I just want a dog so bad, guys. So let's manifest that this year is the year that my parents finally decide to make it happen. Okay, before last one, I just in general want to try things out of my comfort zone. And I mean, I have talked about a lot of things today that are kind of about getting out of my comfort zone, but I just mean specifically not staying to what I always do, just trying new things and trying different things, because at times I've been scared to do things and then I go out of my comfort zone. It's something that I really, really enjoy. For example, like going to the country bar, I was a little intimidated to do it. I'm not really sure why, but then I went out and it was so much fun. I know I want to go back. It was so much fun. So yeah, I just want to get out of my comfort zone, try new things. It doesn't hurt unless it literally does. I'm not gonna like go jump off a cliff or something, but just try new things. And lastly, this kind of sums up everything and it's a good overall ending to what I want this year to look like. But I really just want to work on prioritizing myself. I want to stop people pleasing so much because I have been doing that for almost all of my life. If it affects my own well being or my happiness or my situation, I don't want to do it. I want to start putting myself first. And I don't mean not being kind to people, I still want to look out for people and be a kind person and forgive people and give people second chances if they deserve it, but I need to stop going back to the things that I had to heal from. I want to stop letting other people dictate every single thing that I do. Because once you let go of that and once you do what you truly want to do, it is so, so freeing. So I want to take my own advice and stop caring so much. And just for a little bit of a bonus one, I just want to stop dwelling on the past and focusing on things that can't be changed because they've already happened. It's just a waste of energy and it's stressful for no reason. I just want to move forward from things in the past and focus on the present and stop overthinking and stop replaying conversations or situations over and over in my head. Anyway, so hopefully with this episode, maybe it gave you some inspiration for what you can focus on this year. I know that me personally, it was a lot of fun to just write these goals down, but there was just something about writing them down and talking about them. It just made me a lot more excited to pursue them and actually put in my effort to make them a reality. So I really hope you had a safe New Year's and everyone is healthy and happy. This is the year of putting yourself first and doing everything with grace and doing everything in love and being confident because confidence is hot. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. Love you.